Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is FPL Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 4 team selection for you guys. But before I show you the team, let's have a look at how I did in Game Week 3. And it was another green arrow. It was quite a nice little green arrow there at 75 points overall. As you can see there at the top, I did play my wild card. I kind of gave my reasonings last week as to why I pressed the wildcard button, but basically I wanted to change my team structure quite a bit. And you can probably see that my team changed a little bit from when I did press the wildcard button and when I showed you my team from the previous game week. So let's just run through a little bit of what the decisions that I made here. So I was really happy with going for the Liverpool defence there at the back. I went for Trent and Robertson. Really happy with their output, and I'm very happy to have them for the upcoming games, especially considering I wanted a Liverpool triple up, and it looks like the Jota doesn't really seem to be in favour for the goals right now. He seems to be more of a decoy player. It's more Salah and Diaz getting the goals for them at the moment, which we'll come on to in a little bit. Areola, as you can see, in goal. Now, he was playing Man City and did unfortunately go off injured at half-time. Hopefully, he will be back, as it was just a back injury. That was a bit ironic. Back injury of him hitting the post, so I think he'll be okay for the upcoming game weeks. I basically picked Areola because I needed the money to use elsewhere, and I was looking at it for who do I think the best 4.5 million keeper is going to be. And I've just thought that West Ham were the best defence I could go for in terms of a 4.5 million goalkeeper. I may still go for Raya in game week 6, but with the team how it currently was, getting in a 4.5 million keeper was the only way I could make it work. Of course, I kept Robinson in the team, and once again getting an assist. Really great from him, getting 4 points. Doesn't seem to be getting many clean sheets, Fulham, but again, he's getting the assists. Salah was the saving grace in my team. I went for Salah, and I obviously went without Haaland in the team. I will get a bit more into that when I talk about the player who replaced Haaland in the team. But yeah, Salah getting 17 points. Did kind of wish I captained him now looking at it. He does have an excellent record against Man United, but to be honest, I was just happy to have his points in the team. Captain Palmer was quite a disappointment, getting a yellow card and just an assist, but he got 2 bonus points as well. I'm not too mad about the decision making, to be honest, for going with Palmer captaincy. I think he was excellent in the game. He created a ton of chances as well. Crystal Palace just seemed to be better than what they've been previously. And yeah, he could have had a much bigger score, but unfortunately he didn't. And yeah, I would have obviously much rather captained the likes of Salah or Mbumo, who got 14 points. Really happy that I included him. That was one of the main reasons I got rid of Haaland, was so I could afford Mbumo in the midfield as well as some of the other players. And yeah, he really shone in that Southampton game. Again, his goals weren't like, they weren't massive chances, but they were just right place, right time, getting the ball in the net. Exactly what Mbumo does. And getting that 14-pointer, who I think he's only 5% owned when I had him. So yeah, massive differential points, and covered for the fact I didn't have Haaland in the team. Saka getting a 6-pointer. He seems to be a very consistent asset at the moment, but he doesn't seem to be very explosive, which is kind of what we want from these premiums. So I am going to keep hold of him for the short term, as their fixtures are going to be great in a little bit. But yeah, I do kind of wish I got a few more points from Saka there. Rodgers getting a 2-pointer. Again, the fixtures are great for Aston Villa, and he's getting all the minutes, but he's just not getting any returns, Rodgers, at the moment. I'm not too sure what to think of him at the moment. He's just going to stay put until he does something, really. He's so cheap that I don't really want to get rid of him. And he's just going to sit there and be, I was going to say good value, but he's not even getting returns. So hopefully Watkins can start finishing some of his lovely chances that he's giving to him on a plate, because it was yet another that Watkins could have finished that would have been a Rodgers assist. So if that had happened, maybe we're saying something entirely different. Now, Watkins is in the team. So this is the main reason I got rid of Haaland, is that the combination of Watkins, Mbumo and Saka is the same price as having Haaland and then 2 5.5 midfielders, which would have been Smith Rowe and Semenyo. Semenyo obviously scored, getting 6 points. Haaland got his hat-trick, which I didn't have. But the combination of points was only 1 worse with the current players that I had rather than having Haaland. And I still don't really rate the fixtures that much for Man City. So I'm a bit worried about the next one against Brentford. But apart from that, I'm not too worried about the upcoming fixtures. I don't think Haaland will keep scoring hat-tricks in the way that he's been doing right now. I think he will continue to score a lot of goals. But 2 hat-tricks in a row was absolutely insane. And Salah is still keeping up with him, despite the fact he's not scoring hat-tricks. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that at the moment. But Watkins has been in poor form. He's been in absolutely poor form. I really hoped he would bounce back in this fixture. He's still got another 3 really good fixtures. So I think I'm going to keep faith with him as long as he's not injured, which I'll come on to in a bit. But, yeah, I'm just hoping he can bounce back to his form, given how good the fixtures are in the near future. And Meniz, I'm really running out of patience on. 3 game weeks, 3 blanks. I kept him on the wild card, and it's annoying given that Calvert-Lewin scored well. Visser, who was the other one I was heavily considering, I believe Visser might have been in the previous wildcard draft I made. He returned. Wood returned. Like, there were so many better options than Meniz. Even João Pedro playing against Arsenal returned. But to be honest, I was never going to play João Pedro away to Arsenal, and he probably wouldn't have ever scored that goal if it wasn't for the red card, which was heavily debated anyway. But yeah, I'm losing patience with Meniz. He's had great fixtures and he just hasn't returned yet at all. He's getting the chances though, so I hope he continues to get the starts. I think the returns will come, hopefully, in the upcoming fixtures. But yeah, I'm starting to lose a little bit of patience with him. But overall, quite happy with the green arrow. I've been very consistent so far. Game week 1 wasn't anything to write home about. None of these game weeks so far I've got a massive score, but it's been a nice green arrow every time. So I'm all right with my position currently. And yeah, just gradually rising up the ranks, hopefully. I mean, if I could do this for the rest of the season, I'd probably win the game. So hopefully that continues. Moving on to how the Game Week 4 team looks. And I'm excited. I like the team a lot. The obvious caveat is that I don't own Haaland, who is a very, very good captaincy pick this game week. I also don't own Eze, who is a player I'd really, really like to have, but I just can't get to him. Bumo has a tough fixture this week against Man City, and I could move him to Eze, but I just want Bumo back in Game Week 6 anyway, and I'm not too sure how I'd even do that. So I think I'm just going to brave without Eze for this game week. My intention is to roll a Nava transfer. I have just wildcarded, and I have 2 free transfers available. I want to roll again this game week, and again in Game Week 5, for then Game Week 6 to have 4 free transfers and get in the Arsenal players. That has always been the plan in mind. And yeah, but there is quite a few problems to talk about the team. So first of all, I am starting Bumo over Meniz at the moment. It is a much tougher fixture for Bumo, but he's got the penalties, he's got the attacking threat, and he is just been in great form. He's looking good. Really, really explosive player when Tony's not in the team. Him and Visser really become the threats in that team. Whereas Meniz just hasn't been getting the returns. He's got a home fixture there. But I've got Areola in goal as well, who we'll be playing against. And I don't know, I'm not 100% confident on playing him. Rodgers, of course, is another player I could consider benching too. It is between those 3, I think, in terms of benching. But yeah, there are some issues in the team. The defence is no issue at all. I'm really happy owning Trent and Robertson. It's really exciting, given the fact they've continued to get clean sheets. By the way, I had an Arsenal defence for the first 2 game weeks. Very luckily got 2 clean sheets. I then switched to double Liverpool defence for them to get a clean sheet, and Arsenal not to get a clean sheet. That was really lucky on my behalf, I will be honest. But yeah, going through the problems in the team, I have got, so I've got Watkins and Palmer, who are both yellow flagged at the moment. They have both went on international duty and have been sent home before any games have been played or anything like that. For recovery reasons, I think is the statement being given. I'll have to wait for more information on that because I don't know. The thing that is making me not mind about this news is that if I get rid of Palmer and Watkins in one move, I can get in Haaland because I can go Watkins up to Haaland, and with my 0.3 in the bank, I can go Palmer all the way down to a 4.5 million midfielder, whether that be Winks or Bergval. I don't actually know which 4.5 I'd get because they would just sit on the bench, to be honest. And I'd just start Meniz, which would remove my benching dilemma, and it means I have Haaland back. It does mean I have to change my structure a bit, but I've kind of talked about this idea that I will get Haaland back in game week 7 no matter what. He will be back in the team. I want to keep Salah as well. I don't want to get rid of Salah for him, which I know a lot of people will end up doing. And I will just sell one of Palmer or Saka, and I will basically have that third premium slot open to just rotate between them, because I think the fixtures rotate pretty nicely. It will be Palmer, I think, making way for Haaland. And then once Saka's good fixtures have gone, I think he'll probably go to Foden or De Bruyne based on who's playing well for Man City at that time, because then they've got really good fixtures. But yeah, I like the look of the team, how it is. But yeah, there are these yellow flags. Obviously, Areola's got a knock, but that doesn't matter at all because I've got Fabianski. He will just play over Areola if Areola's not fit. And yeah, I've got quite a few players in this West Ham Fulham fixture, 3 players, but not really too much I can do about that. Nedeljkovic as well, bit of a shame he's not playing. That was a bit of a... I mean, it was very unfortunate, right? Cash got injured. Nedeljkovic has played all the preseason games at right back, came on for Cash as well. And then all of a sudden, this chap called Bogart, who is a player who's never played right back in his life, trained as right back last week and suddenly gets thrown right in the deep end at right back. Crazy. None of us really saw that coming at all. So very unfortunate if you were relying on him. I don't think I'll be playing him. I don't really have any intention to, given the attacking threat of the other 3 defenders. And then FaZe is just there, just chilling out. He's going to be necessary when Robinson has his tougher fixtures, but right now he's just going to sit on the bench and look pretty. And yeah, the captaincy is absolutely going on Salah this game week. No question about it. I think my only dilemma would be between Salah or Haaland for the captaincy, and I don't have Haaland, so it pretty much writes itself. Definitely captaining Salah. Vice on Palmer. João Pedro, I think, is a decent shout as well. However, we did get news that he's been called up for international duty. Now, I don't know how much that's going to affect him, because given the fact he wasn't called up for international duty anyway, means that he's probably not going to play much at all. So we'll have to wait and see how many minutes he gets. But I think the worry is that Brazil play their game in English time. They play their game on Wednesday night, like really early hours of the morning because of the time zones. And then their game, Brighton's game, is 3 o'clock on Saturday. So he's not going to have much time to get back and train. You would think he's in good form anyway, and he's already played 3 games, and he looks very important to that Brighton side. So I do think João Pedro still starts. His replacements as well that could potentially play in his position. You've got Ruta, who's very new to the side. I'm not too sure if he just comes straight in. It is Ipswich at home though, so if there is any game to throw them in at the deep end, it's probably that. And you've also got Enciso, who I believe is playing for Paraguay, who Brazil are playing. So he's going to have exactly the same issue that João Pedro's got. So I don't want to worry about that. And yeah, so there's some injury concerns there. My plan is just to roll the transfer. Unless Watkins and Palmer are both out, I will do that move to get in Haaland. If one of them is out, then we've got some interesting dilemmas. I don't actually know what I'll do, but I'll probably do Watkins to Isak. That's just an easy swap for that one. And then for Palmer, I might look at a Son. Might potentially look at that price point. He's the one that I don't have. Or potentially look at De Bruyne, because De Bruyne, even though these fixtures aren't looking too great for Man City, Brentford away is all right, but even in the tough fixtures, De Bruyne plays well. He's a big game player and he can get returns in those fixtures. So I'd put your faith in De Bruyne if you have him. But yeah, so quite a few dilemmas there. This is how the team is currently looking, and it could change a little bit. If everything's all fine, this is probably how the team lines up. But again, let me know if you think I should start Muniz, because I've just been a bit fed up with him. But to be fair, Rodgers hasn't got any returns either, so I don't know why I'm letting him off the hook in this case. And Bumo's got a really tough fixture, but I think I just want to play him anyway because he's that good. He's just that good. He could get a return in that game. Moving on to the mini league team of the game week. Now, an incredibly good score here of 115. Now, just before I go into this team, I really want to give a shout out to Live FPL, who basically made a little thing for me to keep track of the standings in the league. Basically, their site only shows the top 200 teams and then you can sort by the game week, but it will only show the top 200 teams in the league. So my team's not even there because I'm not in the top 200 in my own league. There's about 3,000 of you guys in the league. So I couldn't really I'm not going to spend hours and hours and hours trying to find the top scores in the mini league that are outside the top 200. But Live FPL really I'm really grateful for this. He made a little spreadsheet for me, which will just update every single week. And it's just really minimized data that will just show me who the top scores are through the entire 3,000 league, the top 50 scores, but goes through the entire league. So massive shout out for him. To him for allowing me to continue this series, because I was worried about what I was going to do given the top score was outside the top 200. But I have checked, it hasn't affected any of the standings for the first 2 weeks. But yeah, moving on to this team, Stacks FC with 115 points. And I mean, just look at the returns in this team. Absolutely ridiculous. Henderson in goal doing all right, getting 4 points. Robertson as well, 4 points. Trent getting a clean sheet. Mikolenko blanking, but it was the only one in the entire team. Eze with his 10-pointer. Again, worried about him next game week. Diaz was the main differential here, 15 points. I really like Diaz as a pick. I know people are worried about his minutes given that Gakpo's vying for that position. He's playing so well. I just don't see why he doesn't start all the time, because he's playing that well. He's earned that spot in the side. Captain Salah as well against United, really backing the boys against United. Very, very impressive there. Semenyo getting a goal, Isak getting a goal, Wood getting a goal, also hogging all those bonus points as well. It seems like the forwards that score the goals really likely to get the bonus points now. That seems to be a big change with the bonus points this season. And Haaland, of course, with his 17-pointer. So, yeah, by a mile, the top score in the mini-league this game week. A game week rank of 309. I've never seen a game week rank that high. So, yeah, really, really well done to Katukala Mukamba. I hope that is your name, and I hope I've done that justice. So, really well done to this team here. And then the leaderboard. Again, not really much has changed. It's just the top 3 scores from the previous 3 game weeks. But yeah, there is actually a player who is in the player in 7th there does actually have 2 top 20 finishes. Tia Semenyo there is the only player so far who has been in the top 20 2 of the 3 game weeks. So really well done to him there. And yeah, it's this will continue to get more competitive the more game weeks that go on. But right now, it's just filling up with spots with the medals that have been on the screen for the first few game weeks. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Please leave a like if you're enjoying the content, and get subscribed if you want to see this kind of stuff every single week. And yeah, let me know what your transfers are this week and who is your captaincy choice. Am I right thinking that Salah is just my go-to? I think even if I had Salah and Haaland, I would go for Salah this game week. I think it is definitely between those two for me, but let me know if there's somebody that I've completely overlooked. And yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next FPL video.